what is up? How you doing? This is your host, Andrew Günther, and I want to welcome you to this episode of the Foreigner Podcast. The podcast where we talk about everything concerning exchange programs and pretty much anything related to living abroad in a different country and different culture. Today, I'm bringing you another solo episode. But before the jump into the structure, I would ask you to please leave a like and share my podcast, as well as checking out my affiliate link on my website to help me grow and keep presenting this podcast to you. Help me keep doing what I love. But that should already be it for the advertisement, and I will now give you the structure, which will surely surprise you with much innovation. So, the first thing we'll be talking about is common exchange year misperceptions. So, these are things that people that are planning on going on exchange, or maybe your classmates after you decided you want to go, have, and they're just wrong, but they have these prejudices? I don't know. They have misperceptions, yeah. And they think certain things that might be wrong, and I want to talk about some of them. And then, of course, there will be a quote of the episode and an item of the episode. But that should already be it concerning the structure, and I will jump right into the main part of this episode. Now, there are lots of misperceptions on exchange years from people who may not be very informed, just as they are existent in pretty much any other aspect of life. If you're not informed about something, you will have misperceptions, and that's just a given. So, following my goal to educate as many people as possible about the exchanges and everything related to that, I will start to debunk some of the biggest misperceptions right now. And the first one that I'll be talking about is the misperception that an exchange year is just like holidays and it's just in a different country. Which is not true, because first of all, this is the main reason, you still need to go to school. If you don't go to school, your visa will expire and you will have to leave the country. That's especially hard in the US since they're really after that. And for example, in Germany, if you don't go to school, the police will come pick you up at your house or will try to find you and bring you to school. So you cannot just skip school, at least in most countries. I mean, it always depends on how it's working out for you in your particular school, because I've heard stories that there were exchange students who would just skip class and nobody would care. But that's not the normal way. So do not expect that you will be free of school. You will go to school every day like any other kid does too. And you will not have free time all day there. You will have to, you will have to go to school. You will have to participate in school activities. You may have to do stuff with your host family, like chores, or help them go shopping or whatever. Or I don't know, when they're repairing a car, you might have to help them. I don't know. Whatever happens, just plan on you will probably be somehow invested in that and you will be working on that problem. So do not expect to have free time all the day. And you will live in a family, so you will behave as a part of this family, not as a guest. This is a very important thing. So as a part of the family and as a part of the exchange, it's about getting into the culture, getting to know the people, and this is also getting to know family life. So do not expect to be treated like a guest or like a royalty. No, you will have to clean the dishes, for example. You will have to set the table. You will have to help in household chores. That should be clear for you. So, nope, an exchange is not just like holidays, but in a different country. It's normal life in a different country, pretty much. But I don't want to scare you on that, so don't worry. It will still likely be less stressful as your life back home. But it will not be holidays. That's what I can promise to you. The second common misperception would be that you can choose where you will spend your year. This is a misperception often held by your classmates who are not informed, or even the host students, I would say. Like, the students at the school you go to, they would ask, oh, but why did you decide to come here? And you might think, oh, I could decide. But no, that's not the case with most organizations. The most organizations ask you where you want to go in country-wise. So you can say, I want to go to the US. but then many try to fit you and your personal profile to a region. So, for example, they will probably try to not put gay kids to the southern states where they don't accept gay people, because I mean everyone can imagine that there will be problems occurring and that it won't be that nice of a experience for the kid, sadly. So that's why you can often not choose where you want to go. But there are some expensive programs that let you choose even the school. So they have like a few partner schools on their website, and you can say, I want to go to that school, but they're much, much, much more expensive than the usual exchange year where you cannot choose. So this is also only for private schools most of the time, and it comes with a big uppricing. So I don't know if you want to do that. But it is possible in those expensive programs, but the regular case is that you cannot choose where exactly you want to go and which school and with what family you'll live. You'll just be able to decide on the country. And even at AFS, at least for me, I don't know how they are doing it now. For me, 2 years ago, it was that I had to give my top 5 countries, and they would check from the 1 to the 5 which country I can go to. So my first country was USA, so they talked to AFS USA, do you have room for people? Do you want them? They gave them my profile, and they said yes. But if they wouldn't have done that, my second, third, fourth, and fifth country would have been asked as well, and they could have decided. So at some organizations, it's not even sure that you can for sure choose your country, but in most. And especially those that take USA first, they will probably get USA. So don't worry about that, because USA takes a lot of exchange students. But okay, let's go on to the third misperception. That's also a misperception often held by your fellow classmates in your home country, because that going to poor countries is a sign of personal weakness and a reason to make fun of you. Yeah, that's a prejudice you will encounter by uninformed and stupid classmates who think it's a sign of stupidity of you to go to a poorer country than your own country, and they'll be making fun of you like, oh, you're gonna sleep in the bushes. How's your 17 dogs doing because they have to hunt your food or whatever. So that will often happen, especially when going to Southern American countries from Europe, because lots of Europeans, especially Germans, as I can say that, don't really have that much knowledge about Southern America and Latin America. So there will be those misperceptions. But I mean, they're not going to be as big, and they won't be that hurtful, because you can just, most of the time, just shake it off. Because those people are really uninformed, and you can see that. And they don't really care about you. They just want to make fun of you. So don't let that take you down. But I've heard that lots of exchange students were discouraged because they were made fun of for their country choice by their fellow classmates in their home country, who were never even planning on going in exchange. So it's not a sign of stupidity or weakness of the exchange students. It's a sign of immense stupidity at the fellow classmates who are making fun of the future exchange student. Keep that in mind. The fourth misperception will be held by your family, likely, that you will forget your native language and overall become a foreigner and disconnect from home. And when you come home, you don't even want to be there anymore. And of course, that's a completely ridiculous fear, because your native country will still be your home, and you will still refer to it as home, and you will maybe experience some problems speaking your native language, like shortly after you're coming back, but this will wear off really soon. For me, it was one day. I came home and mixed up German and English, and then I slept, and the next day my German was perfect again. So don't really worry about that. And your grandparents or parents won't have to worry either. You may maybe miss your host country, but you will still enjoy the life in your home country, especially after being through the reverse culture shock. So you will go through culture shock when going to the foreign country, and you will experience a reverse culture shock, which is pretty much the same thing when coming back. And after that, you will still enjoy life as much as you did before. And there's no indicative effect that would make you hate your own country now. And never want to be there again. That's not a thing. You maybe be more open to the world and enjoy traveling more. Maybe at some point move to a different country, but I mean, it's not like the exchange comes in, goes through 1 year with you, and makes you a foreign affiliate, no, affine, yeah, a foreign affine person. Like, it won't come in and give you the ideas of I want to live somewhere else. You need to have these kinds of traits before. So you would have to look at what is causing what. Is the exchange year causing you to want to live somewhere else, or is wanting to live somewhere else causing you to take an exchange? Yeah, and I mean, the answer is pretty simple. But move on to the fifth of the misperception. That would be that exchange programs are only for rich people, which is not true, because there are lots of support systems for exchange programs, like scholarships or stuff like that, where many different sources give you money and help you to realize the dream of your exchange. And I talked more about that in my free ebook on my website. It's called 5 Exchange Student Itches Scratched, and one of the 5 itches is the money part, because an exchange year can be really expensive. So if you want to find out more about that, go to my website, and there will be a field where you can sign up for my free newsletter. If you do that, you will be sent a link to my Mediafire where you can download the ebook. But you see I snuck in some advertisement there? Let's go on to the 6th misperception. It's only for well-educated elites, which is also not true. So let's take the example of Germany. Germany has a tracked school system. So we have, I would say, 3 different kinds of schools. There's the number 1 school, that's for they think it's for very smart students, but actually it's just for students who work hard. And then there's a middle branch, and that is just for normal students, and the lowest branch, which is for students that have problems learning and that are maybe not quite as intelligent or mentally developed as the others. And lots of people think that only the top branch will go on exchange, but that is not true. For example, AFS is actively trying to get more and more students of the middle branch to go abroad and to help bring everyone to that experience, which is a great thing, because it is not for elites and it shouldn't look like it is for elites. Just as the same result should give you the fact that good grades are not as important as good social skills and an open heart. When you go to your interview where they check if you're able to go abroad, you will have to give them your report card or your grades, and they will look at them, but that's just to check that you are actually working in school and not just killing your time, and that you are interested over a long time in success in life, because that's the thing you have, success in school, because that's the thing that you have to bring to your host country, because they want you to go to school since it's a school exchange program. But they care more about, are you able to socialize with other people? Are you open? Are you talkative? Is it okay for you to be in a new environment and stuff like that? So your grades are not as important. Don't worry about that. Some of my fellow exchange students actually were from the middle branch in Germany. So, well, I mean, this is a proven point. I don't know what else to say to that. So, which is why I want to get to the last misperception, which would be misperception number 7. You will be really, really homesick. That's what everyone's going to tell you. Oh, you'll miss home so much. Don't you miss home? You need to miss home. They're building up like pressure on you to be homesick. But it's not a given, and it depends on you if you are actually homesick. For example, me, I was not homesick at all. which doesn't mean that I didn't miss my family or miss my friends, but I wasn't feeling homesick and felt like crying because I couldn't take it any longer. That was never the case in my entire year. And if you should experience that, there are things you can do against it, like talking to your host family and to just get included and be active. That helps a lot if you have homesickness, to get the homesickness away. And the better you are included in the family and all the structures around it, the less you will miss these structures and the less you will be homesick. Which is why you shouldn't worry about being too homesick. It's just pressure built up by society because they can. Lots of people can't understand that you couldn't be away for 1 year and not be homesick. Alright, that should be it for the main part of the episode. And I have a nice quote of the day. It's, "Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened." From Dr. Seuss. Which is a very true statement on pretty much anything in life, as well as exchanges. Because you will miss things, but think about it. How do you want to remember them, and how do you want to feel when thinking back to them? Do you want to be happy, or do you want to be sad? Do you want to be sad because it's over, and when you think back to the thing that is over, the times that passed, do you want to be sad, or do you want to be happy and be thankful for that these nice times happened? That's a personal choice, I would say, and I would definitely choose happy. So let's get to the item of the day, and today it's not related to any misperception. I just found some random bag of assorted Japanese candy, because this is a very representative thing that works. You don't have to buy exactly this sort of candy. I didn't even try it out myself, but it helped me to just have weird candy with you and that you can hand out to people. And if you have some of that in your own country, that will help as much and as well. Not as much, as well. Like my Danish friend in the US, she had licorice from Denmark called salmiakki, and nobody liked it, but everyone tried it, and it helped to get in contact with people and to start conversations. I, for example, bought some really, really, really sour Japanese country, and everyone wanted to eat that. And for 3 or 4 more weeks, people would come up to me like, "Hey, Andre, you have some more of that candy?" Because they just wanted to try it again, because the sensation was so weird. So you just bring any weird kind of food or candy, better branded candy, because then they think it's sweet. And that will help you to get in contact with people and to get talks to start. So alright guys, that should be it for the episode today. I thank you very much for listening. And yes, this is a much shorter episode because I think I talked too fast. I'm really sorry for that. And please let me know if there should be any other misperception that you experienced or that you want me to talk about. So please send me an email at theforeignerpodcast@gmail.com or comment on my SoundCloud or on my YouTube so that I know what you're thinking about. And I will, if many of them come in, make another episode on that. And also, please check out my website, theforeignerpodcast.com, where you can get lots of information as well as sign up for my free newsletter, as I already said, to get my free ebook called 5 Exchange Student Itches Stretched. So please share my podcast and help me grow and reach more people and educate the world on foreign exchange programs. Thank you so very much for listening.